guys, welcome to another video. In today's video, I'm here to do a book haul. I haven't done one of these in a while. I decided to film a book haul because while I was over in Melbourne, I did some book shopping, went to technically three places where I bought books. I guess without any further ado, let's get straight into this book haul. So the first bookstore that I bought from is the Paperback Books, and they've stamped their logo aesthetic on it. And the concept of this bookstore is that every book in the bookstore is a paperback, and I bought 3 books from them, very thin books. The Paperback Bookstore is in the city, like the CBD area of Melbourne. It's along Burke Street, and it's kind of a pretty small bookstore, but it's just really cozy and just cute, and the workers there are really nice and just accommodating and just very chill. It just gives me very chill vibes, and I love that bookstore so much. Anyway, the books that I got, first up is Indelicacy by Amina Kane. I just randomly picked this up. This edition of it is just so cute. I don't know, there's something simple but visually striking about this book cover. Although it's not the most beautiful cover that I own, I just thought that it was just visually striking. Reading the synopsis, it just felt like something that gave me The Favorite vibes, if you've seen that movie. Something that's a bit lighthearted but has very dark humor, and it's also set in like a Victorian setting, I believe. Is it set in a Victorian setting? Anyway, it's like a historical period setting. So I kind of randomly picked this book up and just read the synopsis, and I thought, oh, that sounds pretty intriguing. I rarely read from this sort of time period, but it also sounds a bit more modern and funny as well. Not so much funny, but a little bit more ironic with like dark humor interlaced into it. Who knows, maybe it has like no humor and I'm just assuming these things. But the synopsis reads as: a cleaning woman at a museum of art nurtures aspirations to do more than simply dust the paintings around her. Her marriage to a rich man offers a path to liberty and the realization of her dreams. But having gained a husband, a house, high society, and a maid, she finds that her new life of privilege is no less constrained. Not only has she taken up different forms of time-consuming labor, social and erotic, she is now, however, passively forcing other women to clean up after her. Perhaps another more drastic solution is necessary, reminiscent of a lost Victorian classic in miniature, yet taking equal inspiration from such modern authors such as Jean Rhys, Octavia Butler, Clarice Lispector, and Jean Janet. Amina Kane's Indelicacy is at once a ghost story without a ghost, a fable without a moral, and a down-to-earth investigation of the barriers faced by women in both life and literature. It is a novel about seeing, class, desire, anxiety, pleasure, friendship, and the battle to find one's true calling. Okay, so I might have been wrong that it is set in a specific time period. It might even be set in modern day, but I thought it was set in the Victorian era because this section said reminiscent of a lost Victorian classic. So I made some assumptions there. I'm actually not sure what era this is set in, but you get the gist, right? I felt like it's gonna have some humor interlaced into it, some ironic story beats that go on, and I'm just very intrigued by it. And it's also short, which was also appealing because a lot of these sort of modern classics or whatever tend to be thick mamas. So I decided that because it was short and sweet and it sounded funny, I definitely thought that I'd have a lot of fun with this. And also it's a book that I haven't heard anyone talking about on BookTube, so I'm intrigued. I might start reading this sometime in the next month or so, and hopefully I end up really enjoying it. So there you have it. Man, there's something about this book cover that I really like, and I don't particularly find it that attractive to me, but I really like it for some reason. Something in its pattern, its color, and its simple aesthetic I just love. I'm wondering if this publisher has published other books in this sort of style because I'm intrigued and I want more. And there's the author. I feel like I'm a little obsessed with this book, even though I have heard nothing about it, nor have I read any sort of reviews on it. I'm going into this one blind, and I hope I really like it because it's really drawing me in. I'm really intrigued by this book in particular. The next book that I picked up, first of all, love the cover. Second of all, it was a short book. That's the theme of the books that I got in this book haul. Short and aesthetic. Anyway, it's Miss Ice Sandwich by Miyako Kawakami. And of course, this is the author of Breast and Eggs, as well as other things. This is the cover art. Absolutely obsessed with it. I just found the blue, the color of the popsicle sticks, so striking, and the eaten up paddle pop stick. You probably already recognize this author's name because she has published many books so far. Well, the translation have been published a lot recently, and so a lot of the newer released Japanese books are usually from this author. Anyway, I bought it because I have seen people haul it before, but I never really knew what it was about until I read the synopsis in the bookstore, which I will read right now for you guys. A young boy returns obsessively to a supermarket sandwich counter, entranced by the beauty of the woman who works there. Her aloof demeanor and electric blue eyelids make him feel the most intense joy he's ever known. He calls her Miss Ice Sandwich, and he wants nothing more than to spend his days watching her coolly slip sandwiches into bags. But life keeps getting in the way. There's his beloved grandmother's illness and a faltering friendship with his classmate Tutti. Wary, intimate, and wonderfully skewed, Miss Ice Sandwich is a poignant depiction of the naivety and wisdom of youth, just as it is passing. Doesn't that just sound wonderful and in a way nostalgic and sweet and childlike? I don't know, I just found this synopsis really cute. Who knows, it's a Japanese literature, it can go either way. It can go crazy or it can be like just simple and sweet. This is just giving me a little bit of slice of life sort of storytelling, and I don't know, and just how this boy is just obsessed with this convenience store worker. I find it adorable and childlike. It's also really short, so I definitely probably will get this one read this year. Again, something very striking about the book cover that I just really like. I just thought that this was a cute find. I think her other books are more well promoted in the book community. This one kind of goes under the radar a little bit. Who knows, maybe it's not that great, but I just find it really cute. So I want to give it a go, and so there you go. The next book. Okay, I'm just gonna peel this sticker first. Okay, so the next book that I have here is called Such Small Hands by Andres Baba. At first, I thought that this was a Susan Hill book because I have another book very similar to the title of this book, and also the synopsis sounds really creepy like the Susan Hill book, which is called The Small Hand. The synopsis intrigued me. Actually, no, the cover intrigued me. Like I said, the aesthetics of these books really drew me in this bookstore. But look at this creepy cover. This was definitely a random purchase, so I know nothing about it. I just saw it, and also it's a really short book, which is going to help me get through it hopefully fast. I know, and something about the glossiness of the book itself just really appealed to me. On the back, it's very simple. It just says, Maria's father died instantly. Her mother is in hospital. Now she lives in the orphanage with the other little girls, but Maria is not like the other little girls. And I think the reason why I was just like, oh, it's like The Small Hands by Susan Hill is because on the back there is a credit of Susan Hill commenting on the book, which she wrote, Such Small Hands is more than just a scary story. This is so much worse. And Susan Hill is known for writing horror stories, so if she writes something like this, I'm in. This is probably going to be very creepy and very intense. Very intrigued by that, and so I decided, you know what, even though I know nothing about it, again, this is a book that I've never seen anyone mentioned in the book community, but I just thought that the cover was so striking. And also, again, it's a short read. It's not a long story, and so I thought it's something very manageable for me because, as you know, I've been falling behind on my... You might not know if you're not following me on Goodreads. Please do follow me on Goodreads if you have not already done so. But yes, I have been severely falling behind on my book reading challenge. It just gives me very creepy vibes, but I love the fact that this mold of a little girl is pastel pink. It's just so cute but creepy, and something about it just seems a little sinister. I mean, look at this little girl. She looks like dead in the eyes. Like she looks She looks dead in the eyes. I don't know, there's something very creepy. Again, I hope that I really enjoy it, and maybe this might become a book that I might recommend on this channel. But yes, I am very intrigued by this, and I'm so glad that I picked it up. Yes, I really hope that I enjoy this story and it becomes one of my favorite horror stories. There you go. So that was the 3 books that I purchased from the Paperback Bookstore, which is one of the many bookstores in Melbourne. But we're gonna move on to another bookstore that I ended up going into randomly as I was wandering through Melbourne. The next bookstore that I bought from, I only bought 2 books, but we went to a bookstore called Readings, and that was in Carlton, which is a little suburb within the city area. The first book that I purchased is called The Lonely Stories, edited by Natalie Eve Garrett, and I believe that this is a collection of, I don't know if it's short stories or if it's, I have postcards from the Picasso Museum that I went to. Oh my goodness, I forgot that this was in here. I think I kept it in here to keep the postcards safe and unbent, which clearly has worked. But before I move on to The Lonely Stories, I'll just show you some postcards from the Picasso exhibition in Melbourne at the National Gallery of Victoria. I really liked this painting when I saw it in person. Oh my gosh, seeing Picasso's works. Actually, the whole exhibition was fantastic. It was such a big exhibit, and I thought it was totally worth your money because they went through multiple different stages of Picasso's progression as an artist, and also they had artworks from other artists within the exhibit that had either been his friends or like been inspirations. Anyway, it was just very well curated. Anyway, so this one I really liked because it was mainly the colors used, and it's called The Weeping Woman, 1937. I do love the cubism kind of style, and also I really liked the green that was used in this painting. And then of course the other one is the iconic, well, I called it the cowboy hat one because it looks like the person in the image has a cowboy hat on. It's so cute. This painting is called The Matador, and this was from 1970. Man, Picasso was around recently. Anyway, those were the 2 postcards that I got. Let's get on with the books that I continue to purchase on this trip. Anyway, so at Readings I did end up purchasing this book because first of all, again, visually struck to me, and also I felt like I would connect to this. I'm not too sure if it's a collection of short stories or is it essays. Oh wow, there are a lot of authors that wrote stories for this. So I assume that it's a collection of short stories and essays from various authors. You know, I'm sometimes a lonely gal, and so I thought that I could just relate to it. I can get some interesting tidbits on like the author's thoughts on the matter, and I just thought that I would be very much touched or overall just speculate on life after reading this. And so I don't know what to expect. This was also a random purchase that I just picked up. I haven't heard anyone talking about this book on BookTube. Yes, I thought that this one like stood out at the bookstore, and so I decided to pick it up. Any stories with the theme of loneliness is always up my alley because it's something that I just deal with always. So I decided to purchase this. And the last book that I got from Readings is Still Alive. This is by Safdar Ahmed, and it says Notes from Australia's Immigration Detention System. This is in fact a graphic novel. I was super intrigued, but also it was rare to find online. Maybe there's more copies online now, who knows, but it was rare at that time when I was trying to look for it. And then lo and behold, this was like shelved right there at the bookstore, and so I was like, oh my gosh. When I saw it at the bookstore, I snapped it up, and I'm actually really intrigued to read this. This is again is a graphic novel. All the images are in black and white. I do like the illustration style. It is very striking. It is beautifully illustrated, but in a way the characters aren't illustrated to be very attractive. It just feels very real. And I heard that the justice system represented in this graphic novel is just really heartbreaking, and so I really wanted to read this and just see for myself if I liked it or not. It clearly has gotten awards. I can't wait. It just sounds like a very sad read, especially because this isn't really a fictional story, but it's kind of like a biography. It's more tragic because these things actually occur day to day. I just feel like this read was going to be a bit of an eye-opener, but I felt like it would be a bit more familiar to me because it is set within like the day-to-day experiences within like an established Australian system. So yeah, anyway, I was intrigued, but it does seem like it's going to be very tragic and sad, and maybe I might shed a tear or two reading this. Who knows? But yes, there it is, still alive. Can't wait to read this and just be heartbroken by it. Let's be real, it's not going to be a happy story, I don't think. You know what? Because this is a book haul, I'll just get the other book that I got. Where is it? Hold on. Oh my lord, it's already been a week since I traveled to Melbourne and I've already lost the book. Okay, so the book I was trying to find was the behind the scenes or production book for The Cursed Child, because while I was at Melbourne I did check out the musical Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. It was amazing, highly recommend, 10 out of 10. Even though I heard like the actual book is not that great, like the Cursed Child book, which is the screenplay of the show pretty much. I do understand why people were upset with the story, because like characters weren't acting like the characters from the book story, and so I understood why people had problems with it. But it does make for a really entertaining like theatrical performance on stage, and just the production value alone for the stage play was absolutely insane, and just things happen in the show and it's just so entertaining. It's very, very entertaining, very creative, and like I said, the production design of the show, like the way the stage moves and the way they transition, it was pure magic. Like sometimes I'm watching a play and I'm like, okay, I can see how they do this and that and how they transition, but some of these ones I was like, whoa, how are they doing this? Like, it's pretty crazy. Let me say, I was impressed by The Cursed Child. I'm really sad that I can't find the book that I bought. Maybe it's upstairs, maybe it's not down here. And so I ended up buying the book of like the production. It was really nice, high quality published book. Like, it was expensive, let me tell you. I think I paid like, I think it was like 60 bucks for the book. Was it worth 60 bucks? I don't know, but the show was so badass that I wanted to remember it through book form. And also I was very curious about the inner workings of the production, so I ended up getting that book. Anyway, that was it for the book haul. So these were all the books that I got from my Melbourne trip. This is my book haul, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That was it, and I hope you guys all staying safe and sound, and happy reading, everyone. Bye!